Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. This is a bonus video for the week. Sometimes I just like to do an eighth video that doesn't have to apply to a theme that we're doing or specially requested from someone, just something I get complete control over. So maybe something I want to check out, maybe something that's just been heavily requested. We've done this before with stuff like Car Bomb, where it's just been requested so much, I just figure I need to do a video I didn't announce I was going to do. So we're going to get one today. This one, Dragon Bug. Dragon Bug has been asking for Neurosis for months, many months. And they're always dropping by the channel. Even with this one, it says 4 days ago, but trust me, this was like a month ago. It says, I haven't enjoyed most of the music you've checked out lately, but that's not the point. I dig the analysis. And I'm just really glad that that aspect resonates with people. We're here to enjoy and explore music, not necessarily something we're going to walk away from loving every time, but just kind of understanding how music exists, where it exists, and what we might like or might not like about it. If things bounce off of us, that's fine as long as we gave it a shot. So as you can see, I responded to this and said, I'll try to get a bonus video out in February, and I got sick in February. So this got pushed back a little bit. However, the one that he specifically requested, or they specifically requested, I don't know, is Sovereign off the EP from Neurosis by the same name. So the EP is called Sovereign as well. So that's what we're going to be checking out today. So Dragon Bug, I finally got you. We're doing this. This song is just over 13 minutes, so get comfy, grab a drink. Let's dig into it. Alright, so we're alternating between two chordal ideas. Yeah, it's ridiculously slow, but we're hearing new ideas on every repetition, so let's see where this goes. We got this cool ambient stuff going on. We got some harmonies added this repetition. I like that. Sometimes we get both sides head on, and then other times we get this cool delay. Without the drums though, this section is very disorienting temporally. Sorry. It almost feels like free time. Especially with the ridiculously slow tempo, that does not help. And it really takes a bit of work to really lock in that tempo and stick with it. Yeah, huge shift. Interesting right pan on that vocal. Now we were. Very interesting panning work on the vocals overall. So we were in 6, now we're in 5, and that intro is in 4. That tom run is instrumental to providing a little bit of movement to this, because there's just a lot of standing still there. Yeah, we're in 6 now. What? Yeah, I think we're still in 6, but this pattern is just really... It moves between quite a few different ideas, and it's really hard to nail down that one. I do like how so far this whole song has really stuck with a single emotional idea. The atmosphere hasn't changed, even though the song has gone through a few different ideas. Yeah, so this is interesting. They're accenting beat 1, the offhand of beat 2, and then beat 2 of the second bar. The vocals are actually not that grating. They're definitely on the harsh end, but I don't find them unenjoyable, which is interesting given how, and like I said, they are kind of harsh. Not what I would normally listen to for sure. Alright, we're back to this 5, where this guitar changes its held note on beat 1. The ambient noises, I think, are really interesting. It almost feels like they're trying to fade out there, and it always comes back to this section. I think it's a really cool transition because it feels like it shouldn't work, but it also is very smooth. Yeah, this section I don't know what's going on time-wise. Oh, now see, I was not expecting this. So far it's been real heavy and low end. So this is cool. They have a 6 pulse melody and they're just leaving 2 beats of silence to fit it into 4/4. And it makes it feel real weighted to the beginning. I think this is the 4th vocal style too. Real heavy on the dissonance. Yeah, it's interesting. Up to this point, we really dealt with a lot of heavy ideas musically and tonally, but not necessarily digging into dissonance. And this section of intentionally playing 2 notes that do not enjoy each other's presence. Yeah, that was a definite unique part of the song. Really nice use of panning on that tom run. We got some brass here now. Sounds interesting. I don't think I heard that brass earlier. As far as I understand it, they brought that in for the ending. All right. We done? Yeah, we're done. So yeah, very cool stuff there. Is this sludge? Doom metal? I'm not really sure, but it is a song that drags for sure. And Dragonbug did warn me that they do a lot of repetition, which they understood that was not necessarily my cup of tea, but still suggested Neurosis. And like I said at the beginning, we're here to kind of dig into music, whether we really enjoy it or not, and figure out aspects that maybe we do enjoy, and figure out exactly what we don't. Not necessarily put it down, but to better understand our own relationship and appreciation of music. So that's what we're gonna do. I can't say that I'm walking away from this a huge fan. This is a bit outside of my tastes. Um, but there are a lot of aspects in here that I did enjoy as a casual listener, and there are some really cool things in here, a lot of which I pointed out during the reaction bit that I enjoyed as a composer. So let's dig into some of this. Um, First of all, I do want to point out their interesting use of time signatures. I can't really say that the time signature changes were exceptionally different. A lot of them still felt the same, especially when we looked at they had a 6/4 and a 5/4 section, and for the most part, the feel of those was very similar. There's only one section. I still think it was a 6 pulse, so I'm kind of leaning towards 6/4, but it could have been 6 and 7 alternating. Um, that I don't. I still, at the end of the song, we had heard it 3 or 4 times, and I still have no idea what was going on there with the time signature. That was the only section where I felt that the time signature change really gave the song a unique feel, because that mixed with the sparse drumming really created a sense of almost free time. A portion of the song where time didn't really exist and it just kind of was. Although there was that other time at the beginning, after we introduced some of the core ideas in that opening, in the intro, when the drums came out and it was the guitars just kind of playing on random notes. Sometimes they would come in together, sometimes they would be like, uh, just one right after another, a little bit of an echo going on. That was another section of the song that's definitely felt like it had no time. However, being part of the intro, I kind of see it as outside of the song because it was more of a unique section, whereas the possible 6/4 7/4 alternating section was recurring. It was definitely a part of the song's identity, so to speak, something that popped up constantly, and it was the only one that feels, like I said, like it. It was really difficult to sort of nail down the timing on that one. But the rest of the time signatures didn't really change too much of the way that the song felt. So I guess thumbs up for that. I mean, that's a positive and a negative. It depends on what they were going for. Sometimes you want your time signature changes to not feel like time signature changes at all. Um, just kind of keep that groove going, and your listener doesn't even really know that a time signature change happened. In which case, I mean, masking time signature changes is a skill all in its own. And the fact that I think they can get away with that occasionally. I don't think too many people would really notice a huge difference because they do a very good job of keeping the groove around. Um, but if they were intending to utilize time changes to introduce new feelings to the song, then in that regard, it kind of failed a little bit. So it really depends on what their goals were. Some of their time signature changes were definitely noticeable, and others were not. And I guess, like I said, props for them for being able to handle both sides of that equation. The multiple vocal styles really stands out to me, especially since they were all panned differently. We had a right pan, a left pan, and then a center pan. One of them was kind of growly. Another one was like a mixed chest and head with compression, and then another one was more chest with compression. And having them kind of do what the guitars did at the beginning, where sometimes they would land together and sometimes we would get a sort of an echo effect. Applying that idea to the vocals in this manner was really interesting because, unlike the guitars, all of the vocals had different ranges and different textures to them. So you're adding different ranges, different textures, and different panning, and it really makes them all sound so unique. Um, and it almost feels like a conversation at times. You have people, you have a person on the left of you, someone on the right of you, and then someone directly in front of you, and you're hearing them from these directions. And it almost sounds like an argument at times, which is interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily what they were going for, um, but the fact that all three tend to sort of have their own solo lines at points, a little bit of counterpoint going on, sometimes doing textural harmony work when they come in at the same time. Um, yeah, it just sounds like being at a bar, I guess, and having people talking over one another. And sometimes two people might line up, two people in different conversations might line up um, on a couple of rhythmic portions of their speech. And that's kind of the vibe I get there. Like I said, I don't know if that's intentional, but it's interesting. I dig it from an artistic point of view. Um, Now Dragonbug mentioned that these guys do a lot of repetition, and for sure, this 13-minute song had 3 or 4 sections in it that just got repeated a lot. However, I like how the repetitions were handled piecemeal. It wasn't a slow burn where we had long bits of repetition. We just had 4 sections, 4 short sections that were repeated constantly throughout the song. And I do really enjoy that the organization of these sections was not always the same. There were a couple of parts that always came right next to each other. We always went from one section to another. But that wasn't always true, and sometimes the next section coming up was not something that I could anticipate all the time. So I do dig that, where the structure of the song is not a simple A B C D A B C D, and they really play around with the structure from time to time. Um, Now I mentioned that I think it was around the 6 or 7 minute mark that we had gone through a few different sections, a few different changes, but they had really doubled down on this atmosphere. And yeah, they came into the song wanting to write an emotion, wanting to get into an environment, a soundscape, if you will, a certain emotional atmosphere, and they nailed it from beginning to end. They tried, well, they didn't try, they went through different ideas, they went through different patterns, different riffs, but the core oppressive, sludgy feeling was present almost throughout. There were a couple of sections that were a little bit lighter, maybe the summer that were a little heavier, but for the most part, the song retains this core identity of just this real heavy weight being pressed down on the listener. And yeah, they just nailed that. Like I said, not really my typical kind of music to listen to. I don't mind uh, heavy music from time to time. I really have to be in the mood for it, but I don't know if I would be in the mood for something like this. It is just ridiculously heavy, and a lot of that comes down to the tempo, I think, and the repetition. I think there's just something about the quasi monotony of the song mixed with that slow tempo that makes it feel like drudging through the same thing over and over, and the mind numbingness of the repetition. And yeah, that they, like I said, they just nailed it. Not my cup of tea. Not something I'm going to go out of my way to listen to. But I mean, if that's the mood you're in and you need something to line up with that, you can't go wrong with Neurosis. At least as far as this song's concerned. Um, 13 minutes of just sitting in a single headspace like this, it's, for me, it's brutal. Some people might find this cathartic. I could see some people sort of zoning out to it. Um, Maybe doing like going into a trance type thing with this type of music. Yeah, I can totally see that. I can see how some people might use this in a therapeutic manner to kind of cleanse their mind and not think about anything for a bit. Definitely. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Neurosis's Sovereign. Definitely an interesting track I would not listen to, but there's some really cool things in here to take away from. Even if the song, I mean, I don't know about the lyrics. I don't know if the lyrics changed throughout. The song was heavily repetitious, though. I could have heard all of the sections of the song in about 4 minutes, I'd say. But it really is the constant revisiting of these sections that creates the oppressiveness, that creates, the drudgery, the feeling that there's just no way to lift this weight off. It's just going to continue, and really pushing it into the double digits helps with that. The song feels like it could go on forever, up until it ends, and even the ending I think was a fade out. So it kind of implies the idea that it's cyclical, that we could continue this if we wanted to. There is no real finite ending. There's more of a just dropping off. More like the listener walked away from the song than the song itself found a deliberate ending. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts, though. This is where you guys come in, though. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought of Neurosis Sovereign. If you enjoyed it or not, any specific parts that stood out for you. And, yeah, Dragon Bug, good pick. Even if it's not something I would listen to myself, I do enjoy listening to some of this stuff that is way outside of what I would find myself. And, kind of seeing what people might enjoy out of it, or even taking ideas from it for my own writing. Very cool. Um, when you're done commenting, there's a description box if you'd like to check out any links adjacent to the channel: Twitter, Discord, Patreon. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. All three help out the channel immensely. I will be back tomorrow with the first video for Video Game Soundtracks Week. And like I said yesterday, I am pretty sure what's... actually, no, I am sure. Yesterday, I was pretty sure what's going to win. Today, I know it's going to win. I know it won. So, looking forward to that one. Like I said in the earlier video, it's a series that I know and I've played, but I haven't played the game that this specific song has come from. So it's interesting to kind of see how this song might relate to the stuff in the past that I've played, even though it's more of a modern idea and modern music. I'm ready for tomorrow to come. That's for sure. uh, So yeah, with all that said, we're going to close this one out. Remember to be critical and not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.